Do I intro you? Or like,
I ain't talking about myself. So yeah, intro me.
you don't like talking about yourself,
No.
but you're here.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can tell you no. I can tell you no.
Because
I was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
like you could have said no, but okay.
After I said yes, I was like, oh, I love listening to podcasts,
But
but I'm
not
gonna be on one.
Alright, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Jabari Show. Today we have, I guess, a treat. And we're in a new location. Y'all wouldn't know, but we just had to let y'all know that we're in a new location. So today we have. Also, I don't know what you do. I know I like cut them off.
I don't know either.
I don't know what you do other than photography. But we have Scott. I figured out recently that your last name is McDonald.
Yes, it is.
And I just thought of so many, like, Ronald. And I was like, do I even...
My first name is actually Ronald.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, that would have been funny. So, yeah, so we have Scott. I mainly know you as a photographer as well as
Yes.
owning the studio. The studio is very nice. I haven't heard
Thank
anything bad. I've known
Oh, I
people
hope
that
not.
came here and I went to other studios and was like,
Man, I wanna go back.
I like this one more. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
And
Maybe it's just the vibe.
I think so. It looks
It looks nice.
really nice. I was talking to a friend who had a shoot here recently, and I was like, I dipped my head in for like a second to pay something, and I was like, I really like his table, and then she was like, his table? That's really what you walk away with? I'm like, but did you see his table though? It's so nice. It's like this.
What, the desk?
Yes.
You know that's custom made.
Is it?
Yeah, I couldn't get the desk. I
It's
couldn't
so
buy
nice.
it looking like that. So I was like, I'm gonna draw it and ask somebody to build it for me. and
I was
get the
like, it's
material.
so nice. I just wanna be there.
You're welcome to use it anytime you want. It's open to the public.
You sure you wanna release that?
I take it back. I take it back.
You sure you wanna put that down and all of a sudden that table in the back there.
Yes,
I heard that it's available for the public use. I have
You want the things go on that table. Not those kind of things. Like shoots. People stand up on top of the desk.
I
All
went
kind of
out.
thing.
It is a.
Food.
Now that you say it's custom, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you could inspect it after and see
That's
all the
crazy.
detail.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, as much as you don't like to talk about yourself, you kind of
No.
have to. So I more want to know, because I also feel like you do other things other than photography,
Yeah, for
but I want to know like how you came about into photography. What was also I saw pictures of you with hair. That was just
Yeah.
a random throughout,
For those who can't see, I am
and I was
bald.
like, oh, I really was like, it's burning my heart to know when did it.
All come off.
Yeah.
I could give that story too.
Yeah, so
But I actually did not start off as a photographer. And it was so long ago and I was so young, I don't remember the detail. But my first love was actually graphic design. So I was maybe like 9 or 10. And my cousin knew Photoshop. And I was amazed of the things he could do with it. So I was like, I want that on my computer. I'm going to download it. And try and teach myself to use it. And that's what I did. I was a big Michael Jackson fan. I still am.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still around, but you know, like online forums, you could become a member and just like talk random crap.
Yeah.
don't like Reddit and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like Reddit, but it's like specifically for Michael Jackson or whatever
Okay.
you love.
That's how Reddit is, right? Reddit, it would have, well, they call it communities.
Yeah.
And, well, you
I
just
love
search,
Reddit.
You just search a community and
Yeah.
you just join it.
It's like
And
it's like
so
Reddit,
Yeah.
but like an entire website dedicated.
Oh,
to-
it's a whole
yeah,
dedicated
one
website.
just for Michael Jackson. So on that website, I think Reddit has this feature, but it's like something called a Ziggy.
What
You know
would-
what an avatar is?
Oh,
Yeah.
Right, so it's like an avatar and then a Ziggy under each one of your posts. You have a piece of artwork.
Okay.
So I was like, nah, I need to figure out how to make that.
Is it kind of like DeviantArt?
Kinda, yeah.
Like a mix
DeviantArt.
of both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna offer my services, and I started doing it for free. And every day I would get like 5 or 6 requests, and that's all in Photoshop. People sending me like 3 pictures and asking me to make a collage out of it. So that's how I taught myself Photoshop, and I did that for about 2-3 years, and then I discovered photography, and that blew my mind. I got like this real tiny cheap camera with like 2 megapixels on it.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
went
always
out
the
in
best
yard.
ones.
Huh?
I say that's always the best ones.
Yeah, 2 megapixels, that's all you need. Back in the day. But yeah, I went out in the yard and just taking pictures of flowers and spiders and all kind of crap. Yeah, I feel like everybody photography journey starts off with nature.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's how I started in the garden, taking pictures.
Okay. So then how did you kind of take was the graphic design like how did that help you at all when it came to photography?
It helped, and it was also a bad thing because
In
once
what
I
way?
started doing photography, I want to over edit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I exaggerate the colors and exaggerate the grunginess and take it past the point of, okay, there's not photography anymore. This is like real, either artistic or junky. But
Okay.
eventually I found the balance
Yeah.
based on people's very kind critiquing.
Sure, let's go with that one.
Kind
You
critiquing.
know when you have to stop and slow down and be like, based on everyone's kind critiquing. That's when you know it's not really that kind.
Yeah. Some
It's
of it
all
was
like,
not
Scott,
kind.
this is not it.
It's a little too bright.
Scott, I can't. Scott, this not even looking like this is not. Is this me?
I'm like 15 getting all these critiques. Like,
Scott,
okay.
the background is purple. What is? What is this?
Ah, good times, good times.
So yeah. So then, how did you like? I guess build that. Also, did you do anything before photography? Like I guess job wise, because I'm guessing that this is what you
Well,
do.
that's the thing. I did start a graphic design, not like for paid jobs or anything. I might get 1 or 2 paid jobs, but like, yeah, as a hobby, a real big hobby. Like all of my time was into Photoshop, but like that was 11 or 12, so I was still in school.
Okay.
And I started photography when I was in Form 3, so I was 15. But all my life, since, well, not all my life, since about 10 years old, every chance I got, like not summer, but July, August, and Christmas, I'd work in the mall, in a store, because your boy wanted to make money.
Yeah.
The whole point of me making money was I asked my parents for a cell phone when I was 10, and they told me no. I was like, you know what? I don't need y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna work whole vacation to buy my cell phone. And after that, I never asked my parents for anything. I was like, well, this is the thing I want to buy, so I'm gonna work for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So you just did. So you did that, and then I guess you bought yourself a camera, right?
yeah, my first camera.
Okay. So then at one point, were you always more like, I want to do this for a living?
For a long time, I wanted to do graphic design for a living.
Yeah.
Like,
And then when you found photography,
when I found photography, that's what I wanted to do for a living, for sure. Like, I was ready to drop out of school at Form 3, Form 4, once I found photography. Yeah. But at the same time, while I was doing photography, because of my graphic design, I started doing like my own t-shirt lines. Around the same time I found photography. So like in my head, those two things, I was like, nah, I'm sure I could make a decent living off of this. Yeah. I don't need school anymore. But I ended up staying in school until the end of Form 6. So.
okay. Was that like your choice for Form 6?
No, I was forced. But I
Okay.
don't regret it. I definitely don't regret it. Form 6 was like the 2 best years of the entire school period of my life.
Oh, actually, I don't know. That was.
You don't agree?
It's not even that. It was more like I just didn't like school to begin with.
Yeah, me neither.
But I don't know. It went from me in was that primary school?
Yeah, primary school.
Yeah, it went from me in primary school being like real focused on being like the best. I literally was top 3 every single term. Like you couldn't catch me less than
Damn.
3. It had probably had like one term where it was like I came 5th because the teacher decided to be like, well, whoever comes first getting X amount of money, and everybody was on their game, and I was not having it. I was like, Jessa? So
You drop a few ranks.
yeah, drop a few ranks. But other than that, me switching from primary school to secondary school, I started to feel like I was more doing this for my parents and not because I really enjoyed it. So I was like,
Yeah.
they can't really stop me from coming here.
Nah.
I was like, I'll just breeze through. And I,
like doing the bare minimum just to
I-
pass.
yes, I bead and seed my way all the way through Form 1 to 5 and found myself out of there.
I
But,
feel like everybody go through that weird transition from primary school getting like
it's so different.
80s, 90s A's to like C's, 60 something, just barely passing.
that was me for what? For Form 1 to Form 2? Man, I like for essay. I, man, maths was I was in my bag. 80s, 90s.
2
Man,
plus 2 is 4.
yeah,
Minus 1.
boy. And
Huh.
And that was crazy. I was like, you told me only like one question
and I, and then Form 1, 2. Man, I was getting back for 6. I was like, what is this? I mean, it had like one semester. I mean, one term that I was like 87. I was like, all right, we getting back in it. We getting back in it. And then the last term, it was like 50. I was like, I don't know what else to do. And then, well, Form 3, I finally started going back up. And I was like seeing 70, 60, 80. I was like, okay. I think I understanding. But yeah, that transition from Form 1 to 2,
Pain.
just sciences came to me naturally.
Hmm.
But French, Spanish, well, Spanish, I
Gosh.
kind of fumble my way, I'm being honest, I fumble my way through Spanish. I fumble my
Spanish
way.
is easier than French for me. I really cried through France. France. Through French. I was crying through France while learning French.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, between Form 2 and 3, it switched. Spanish started spanking me, and then French started coming naturally to me. I don't know if it is the fact that I realized my French teacher knew my dad, that gave me an extra spark to be like, oh crap. I had to get my act together, but man, I saw Spanish take a nosedive and French was on the up and up.
Peaking.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing any languages after this. I real good.
It wasn't mandatory in your
No,
school?
no.
CIC neither. CIC was real flexible when it came to subjects.
Oh no, I think mandatory stuff is really just in girls' schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I'm being
sure.
real serious. Like, I've spoken to people and they were like, "Oh, I had to do the subject." I'm like,
yeah.
Like
have to?
Literature, a little.
"Girl, if I wanted to do one subject, I could have done one subject." Like, what are you talking
I
about?
hate
I
that
have to.
mandatory thing.
I was so confused because, like, okay, well, I went to St. James Secondary School and
Yeah.
then I transferred to Trinity for Form 6. But the girls in the school were like, oh, yeah, literature was mandatory. I'm like, the what? Wait,
Wait, yeah, me wondering. Lit was mandatory. Wait, up to CX you're talking about?
Yeah, for CXC, we didn't have to choose lit, but a lot of girls that when I transferred over to Trinity, because in Trinity, Form 6 has girls,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, yeah, we had lit mandatory. I'm like,
Nah, sorry.
Yeah, we had lit mandatory too.
I didn't have that either.
yuck.
I think there's mandatory to have a certain amount of classes,
Seven
but
was
not
like the base,
whatever ones you wanted to do. I was like, yeah, you just do your thing at that point. And,
I thought CIC was flexible, but your school sounding pretty flexible when it comes to subjects.
Well, the only thing was,
I think it was a specific order of things though.
yeah, it would be in groups.
Because it would be in groups, so I think everybody would have had. Because I think is when it comes to exam time, you don't want overlapping subjects.
Yeah.
So it's just
It'd
like
be
a big thing.
nightmare to schedule exams. and
Yeah,
that.
so that would have been like the worst thing of like if you have to do all the exam before, you could come and tell people, hey, this one come.
Yeah.
It could have been something
True.
like that probably. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
So, how did yeah, yeah, that's really,
begin, or what was the idea behind the space? How did the space come into
not even that, at one point,
What is the story behind the space?
yeah,
Like how I get it?
From the
Yeah.
From the start.
from the beginning of you touching the camera,
Well, let's go all the way back.
all the way back to when he had hair.
So when I had hair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, after CXC, I was like, hold on, let me go back to Form 4. Because like I find Form 4 is like
Form
the
4
point, the point in my life where I was like, yeah, nah. I know what I want to do for sure. And it wasn't photography at Form 4. So I had 3 lockers in my classroom.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't have books in them. It didn't have any books in them. I knew graphic design, so I started designing T-shirts. I don't know if you remember that song by LMFAO, Every Day I'm Shuffling.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do a T-shirt with a design with the lyrics of that song on it, from that song. I did it, and in the last 2 months of Form 4, I ended up selling almost 300 or 400 of those T-shirts. And it wasn't only CIC buying it. I had boys in other schools and girls in other schools selling them for me. So at that point, I was like, nah. I made $60,000 in that last 2-3 months of Form 4.
Profit, or you talking about
In
including in sales in general?
Well, no, that was profit. The 60,000 was profit. I
Okay.
can't remember how much the sales were, but it was a lot of t-shirts I sold. And I took that one design and I made like limited edition versions of it, which was a gold print. And I only made 50, but I charged like $250 for it. So I was like, nah, I need to do something with this type of stuff. So I did a few t-shirt lines up until Form 5, and I made a decent amount of money. Whereas that when I reached Form 6, I was like, I want to open a physical store while I'm in school, which is probably the worst idea I ever came up with. But I did it. And I still have it, a Swatch, Swatch watches.
Yeah.
It's a Swiss brand.
Yeah, I know Swatch.
So I went on vacation to St. Martin and I saw the brand and I fell in love with it as a graphic artist. Because it's all colorful and clean and it's a beautiful
They
brand.
have the open backs and whatnot. Yeah.
It's real beautiful watches.
I wanted to get one, but when my parents went to buy it, because they have a location in Long Circular Mall.
That's mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee.
And I actually have a big sale right now.
Oh, okay.
Because
okay.
I'm closing it down, but I like explain that.
Yeah. So when my parents went, I'm not sure, the automatic one with the automatic movement that you can see straight through.
The System 51.
Yeah, they went to go and get that for me for Christmas. They were sold out. Like
Crap.
when I saw it, let's say this week I saw it, my parents went next week and it was gone. And I was like,
those are popular. I
so
still have a
excited.
few, but I don't know if it's the color and
It
design
was
one.
silver and
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think. Silver and gold, I think. I can't remember, but yeah, I was like,
That was a sweet one.
yeah.
They call that one the Body and Soul. That was a top seller, but they stopped making it. I don't know why. Some of the top ones, they just...
It's not everything with watches, though.
Was that, sorry?
It's not like everything with watches. It's that they stop making it
Yeah.
at a certain point because
Yeah.
just
They
to
have
keep
something
the
called, like-
value up and there. It's like
The
it's
funny
not
thing
always
with Swatch
available.
is like, they're cheap, but
Yeah.
they're great quality watches.
Relative to what you're getting for their prices,
Yeah.
it's really, really good.
Because they make some of the biggest brands in the world. Swatch is like one of their brands. They make Tissot, Rado, a few different world-class watch brands. So the same technology, just in like a more reasonable casing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my dad is I don't want to say watch fanatic, but the man has some watches, so he has a few Rados and whatnot. So when I told him about his watch, he's like, "Since when you into watches?" I'm like, but okay, but yeah.
But nah, definitely after I'll show you some pictures and you come check it out. But yeah, I opened that store, I think it's 8 years ago or 9 years ago, while I was in lower 6. And that was a headache. Because of the money I made in Form 4 and 5, I was like, I really want to invest it into something cool. And I found Swatch was a cool thing to get into.
Okay.
So all this time, photography was kind of on the back burner. Maybe every few weekends I might get an event to shoot or, small little jobs for photography.
Quick question. Well,
What were those prices like back then?
It was always like 500 an hour, 600 an hour.
Okay.
And those were my prices for a while until I left school.
All right.
okay. Well, last week we had someone who spoke about, this week, last week, whatever you want to call it. We had someone and he spoke about, bringing in
Oh no, he knows Corey.
yeah, okay, well, yeah, Corey.
Yeah, no Corey.
So
Yeah.
bringing in what do you call it? A franchise.
Franchise.
Well, you can go into that after you finish telling the whole life story. But like, what was it? Bringing in Swatch. What were the logistics to bring in?
It was surprisingly very easy. I always tell people that their mind is what's stopping them from doing things, Because literally all I did for that is I went to St. Martin, I saw the brand and I bought a watch. And I came back home and I was like, nah, I need to just call these people
Figure out something.
and get them into Trinidad. Like, I'll figure everything else out once I get them on board. But I need to get these people there. I need to talk to them. 'Cause I have no idea what I need to do if it was a franchise, if it wasn't a franchise.
Okay.
I literally went on the Swatch website, looked for the...
Contact us.
yeah, contact us,
Yeah.
literally. Look for the head office email address, and I sent an email.
Yeah.
In 2 days, the guy messaged me back asking for a little more information on Trinidad. Like, what's the market like? Where you think a good store will be located? And the same day I responded, they're like, okay, cool. Well, we're flying somebody out to come meet you. They'll be there in 2 months to come and check out this place and talk to you more. So this stupid little 17-year-old, 18-year-old, I was shocked. These people from Switzerland flying somebody. Yeah, they actually took me on. So your boy went and bought a nice shirt, nice pants.
You can't be looking bad.
Nah,
I'm a businessman. I'm going to do business.
don't have my license yet, so I can't drive.
Where you off to? Business.
How you got here? Oh, I have a driver. It's
Yeah, a driver. She's my mom, but I mean, she's my driver. So yeah, they came down, they met me, they like the space, they like the idea. And then that was it. Literally found a location. Yeah. But that was a whole long story too, because initially I was supposed to open a store in Gulf City Mall. I had the sweetest spot. I can't remember what was there now, but can't remember. It was like at the entrance, and it was like the perfect size and everything. They semi-approved it. I went ahead, started like planning it out and building it out in my head. And then one day they just messaged me and was like, yeah, head office said no. You need to find a new location before we ship anything to you. So I scrambled to find the Bluegrass location. Luckily, Bluegrass is owned by my uncle. So he was like,
Oh, okay.
of course. He must have some link somewhere.
Yeah.
So after failing in Gulf City, not being able to secure that spot, I had to beg. And he's like, listen, I'll give you this small... This is the funny thing. He's like, I'll give you this small little area in the store. It could complement the store. But you have to pay me the equivalent in the mall rent. So I was like, that's fine. I cool with that. I was going to pay rent. Yeah, I was going to pay rent anyway in the original location, so that's fine. And it worked out. I ended up hiring somebody to run it while I was at school. And it worked out for the last 8 years until now. Semi-COVID, yeah. There are a lot of... It wasn't really a franchise in that I'd have to send back money every month to them or anything.
What?
They were just... Yeah. Yeah, I purchased all the fixtures, like paid for it in full, bring the store down, paid for all the watches, everything, and they were just happy once every month I was buying a certain amount of watches. So that was the deal with them.
At this point, I feel like that's how it works now, though, when it comes to specific things like that. Once it's not like food and like things like that, you just buy it from the people, and it's like, oh, well, we're getting paid, and the store is looking how I guess they want it to look.
Yeah, that's really important. Once
So
it's
it's
looking
like-
good, yeah.
Okay.
You run into little problems because we're not a tourist island. Rain and wind. Yeah.
So yeah, we're not a tourist island.
We're not a tourist island, so the kind of volume they're accustomed to, because it's a tourism type brand. And what Trinidad was moving, it is not the same.
Yeah.
So, but they also had a lot of restrictions on advertising. So I couldn't have my own social media page. I couldn't do any marketing without their approval. So there's a lot of restrictions that was a little annoying.
Is there even like a social media page or anything like that?
Eventually, I was allowed to have one, yeah. But for a while, they didn't allow you to have your own social media page.
Okay. All right. So then from the watches, how does that now build into
Yeah.
the space?
So once I left school, I was real depressed because all my friends went away to university or went to UE. I felt like I had nobody really my age.
That is interesting.
I feel like that's everybody because my sister went through it. Like when you graduate, you're kind of unsure of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Even though you have an idea, you're just depressed. Yeah, you're floating. But it don't last long. Most people figure it out quick. But it took me a few months to be like, nah, I think I'm gonna open a studio and give it a try. And that's how I found this area. I had a studio in the other building. It was about like 20 feet by 20 feet. I
Yeah.
was like, I have this watch store bringing in a little bit of money, and I'm still doing photography on a bigger scale now because I have more time. I could take a chance and rent this little area and try for a studio. And that's what I did. I opened my first studio a few months after leaving school.
Which was here or which was the other place?
The same compound, but in the front building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then how come you moved here because it was just bigger and it was available?
That's another story. I only moved here maybe 2 years ago.
Here?
I was in that original space for about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. They
So then
moved
how?
to here.
Yeah, how was that transition from there to here?
You want the real story or the quick story?
I mean, we're here for a good time.
It raining outside.
And it's raining too, so it's kind of like we're here for a little bit.
Why
Well,
not?
I mean, the quick long story is basically I was cool in that space.
Or they were
But-
like, you have to go.
It was a little tight. It was a little small. So I always knew eventually once, I build up my savings, I would like to move into
Something bigger.
a bigger space. But like it wasn't at the top of my mind because it was working. That was just me wanting a nicer space. But it was working for the size it was at. But to the end of it, I had to actually get into another business. So I saw one of my friends started this really cool business called Dough Trinidad, Cookie Dough.
Uh-huh.
And I went to see it to check it out just to support him. I was like, nah, this is a real cool idea. I wish I could have be involved in something like that. And I made a joke that, hey, let me buy it from you now. So I did. But that was a very interesting experience because I had no experience in a store that size, that type of business where you're like producing a food item,
Yeah.
a dessert item. It was real fun. It was real interesting. I had it for 2 years, but it was reaching the point where to make it work, I needed to expand it
Yeah.
and put it in like a different location with higher traffic to increase the sales.
Yeah.
And your boy don't have that kind of money to like pay for mall rent, completely build out a mall store. I was like, it would be nice, but it's not making sense. 'Cause I can't really do that right now. But also, I can't stay at the location I'm at, right? So in my head, I was like, girl, trying to figure it out. And then this spot where my current studio is became available. The person moved out. And it
Yeah.
was empty. So I was like, it's sounding crazy, but maybe I could close down that location with the cookie dough and merge my studio and the cookie dough together in this one location.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be producing the cookie dough here, packaging it, and then shipping it out to different stores and things. So I wouldn't be like selling it at this location. I'll just produce it here. And to add to that, I'll have a big studio now, a nice size studio.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I closed down that store, count my losses, and then moved everything into here and expanded my studio into this new space. Thanks to COVID, that cookie dough never took off the ground in this new location because it didn't make sense. So I just kind of switched it off. For
All
now.
the way.
At first I was saying temporarily, but now because the studio is so busy and have me occupied, I don't know if I'll switch it back on. Yeah.
Okay. So is there like other things that you do too that we?
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I just have like 5 houses renting and like a 8
I have
apartment
one, but
complex.
we can't talk about that.
That's just like there on this side, and I have a car rental business too. It's just it's a regular day, It's just
Not to mention my phone maintenance company that's also on the side.
yes. I also have a large stake in Digicel and B Mobile because why
wish.
not?
I wish. Maybe I have better internet at home.
Yeah. So the other things would be like what?
Because I'll talk
If
about
you
some of
could.
them.
Yeah.
I always love like the process of printing a t-shirt. And well, my same uncle who own Bluegrass, they own Rossi, which is they do printing,
Oh,
that
okay.
type of printing,
That
right?
makes sense.
Yeah. So I was like,
Of course they do. Of course.
No,
Yeah,
he
of
said
course.
it so soft, and it only just registered in my head that he was like, "Oh yeah, my uncle who owns Bluegrass owns Rossi." And I was like, "Rossi," and then I also backtracked because my mom works like in a
At-
print shop,
yeah.
so they
yeah.
also use Rossi t-shirts. And I'm like, I always hear the name.
Yeah, and then we
So it
use
just
their
read-
t-shirts too. So
You saying your uncle owns Rossi too? It just went all the way back to when I was 5, and I was just hearing Rossi this and Rossi that, and I was like, "Who is Rossi?"
when growing up with a mom in that type of business is real interesting.
It is. I think it helped me a lot when it comes to making designs.
Yeah.
And because She also doesn't like some teachers that print. You gotta, cause I mean, you can admit not every jersey
In terms of the quality.
that has a great, like has a print on it is gonna be great. Cause
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, what even is this? And she's be like, I don't really like this, or just, and she's there to make it look the best that it could possibly look. And I just watch and be like, yeah, this is bad. Why people even
Choosing this.
making this in the first place? Well, I mean, they sending their designs, they approve whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, this really came from your head. You spoke to a group of people, and they also said, yeah, we like this. And then you came here, had a whole graphic designer
Yep.
because they had one available from print shop, and was like, yeah, we'll still go through with this. Okay, sure. It's
I
our
don't
bag.
question it anymore. Back in the day, I'd be like, nah, that's real crap. I don't think we should print that. But at the end of the day, they pay you to
Yeah,
just
they're
print.
paying to do our job.
Yeah, just do the job. You can suggest like tweaks if you want and
Yeah.
changes, but
I also low-key can't go buy another printer right now.
you can come by me. We can
No,
do it.
I'm saying other than you,
While we can, instead of by we can buy you,
Oh,
we can go to
I can't really go
Oh,
by
okay,
anybody
okay.
else because just like I'm literally getting exactly. I've been telling people that I wanted a DTG printer for so long, and then I don't know if it was Luigi or somebody was like, check out this place, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure. And then I got, was it Joshua? No, it wasn't him because he asked me about it, I think. And then I did the first jizz, and I was like, this is great.
it's amazing.
I didn't even care if you cussed me out the first time. I was like, this jersey is great. I am coming back.
Nah, DTGs are amazing process. Cause I sure you're familiar with screen printing.
Yeah, of course. That's
Like,
what they did
yeah.
across there.
DTG is like screen printing on crack, but it's
It's
so much
so much
simpler.
Detail.
It's simpler and so much more detailed. And
I'm like,
it's
this
beautiful.
is just illegal. Like, it shouldn't be
Yeah,
allowed.
it should.
It's
shouldn't
just
be
too
this
good.
cheap. Something's wrong.
It's like, this is too good. But, yeah, you were talking about businesses and,
Yeah, so I do a lot of. I don't personally do the printing, but like I have an entire group of people that I like help them bring their design together and some similar to like what we do.
Yeah.
You will message me and be like, hey, I wanna print this design on a t-shirt. I might suggest, okay, we could do it this way or tweak this a little bit and this is how we could do this, or you could try these items and you could sell these items also. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy talking to people, helping them figure out what they want to print and design. So unfortunately, there's a whole other side hustle which take up a good bit of time.
yeah.
Where I just have like this clientele that need printing and I facilitate it.
That's also what I think about too, because I'm like, sometimes I message you a lot about jerseys, and I'm like, does Scott not have other things to do? I'm like,
Too
I
many
feel like he's so
things.
busy. So I was like, sometimes I don't message, and I'm like, I feel like he's busy. I'll save it for tomorrow, and then he'll get back to him.
Sometimes I feel like I am an employee of that business without a salary. But
Okay.
I enjoy it so much. So many times I try to like just stop it because it really is a headache sometimes. Like when things go wrong or it's not coming out how you want it to come out.
Yeah.
But
Is this where I make my joke and say I could help you?
I'll message you. We'll talk.
Okay, for sure.
But yeah, it's just so addicting. Just the whole process of seeing
It is.
something go from the screen to a physical object is
It's like, this is
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
It's like, this was in my brain,
yeah.
and now I could touch it. And it's like a physical thing. This should not be. I also needed that hoodie. That hoodie was real important.
Oh,
With the man on the moon thing.
Yeah. I
That
remember.
hoodie was like, I needed that one. And then you said that they couldn't print it because it was too thick. And I was like,
Yeah.
in my head, the nozzle or whatever it is that sprays it out could adjust.
It could, but only to a certain point.
But then I was also like, the hoodie's not even that thick though.
You see, when you put it onto the actual plate and tie it
Yeah.
in, it becomes thicker.
Oh,
But
okay.
also, they might have the room to do it.
It just didn't want to risk it.
You run the risk of it hitting a zipper or something and damaging $1 million machine.
Okay.
So, I don't think it's a risk anybody will.
No, because I want to do hoodies too. But it's just like, now I have to find somebody to get a hoodie done. So that's why I just mainly stick to t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't think people really know that until now. That's the only reason I really just do t-shirts, because one, I know what I'm gonna get, and then two, if I put out a hoodie, I don't know if it's even able to be printed on.
I mean, you could probably screen print it for sure.
Yeah, but the startup cost
It'll
for
be very
screen printing
expensive.
is so expensive. Whereas
Very
like
expensive.
$400, then you have to pay for the negative. Is
The
a positive?
screens, the positives, everything.
Is a positive, right?
Yeah.
You have to pay for the positive as well as the graphic designers, little labor too.
Yeah.
Even though I send them the
They still
thing
have
how I
to
send it to you,
split
they
it.
still have to make the positive too. So
Yeah.
it's like they have to separate the colors, and it's like you're looking at like $600 to $700 for one T-shirt.
Yep.
The
It
T-shirt
don't
don't
make
even.
sense unless
So
you're
it's
doing
like
a
that's
big
not
quantity.
making sense unless I'm like this super big person and I'm selling thousands of jerseys a day.
Yeah. It
So
don't
that's
make
why I'm
sense.
like this not. So that's why I end up just coming through the DTG and I'm like I'm getting quality, I'm getting it cheap, and hopefully I
yeah.
could build from there. So that way I'm just making more. But it's just the hoodies is the only thing. Cause I also want to do some pants and I don't know how that would work out.
Hats
Pants,
or pants.
shorts.
Yeah, same thing. Once it's not too thick, it's possible. You
Yeah.
could definitely do it.
So that was it. Okay, did we even like talk about the
He
space?
said he went into how he got these things, but
Yeah.
how did the
How did you figure out like paying for the space? I guess in a way,
Well,
because for me, um, when I spoke to my dad of like I wanted to do photography and I want to do this thing full time, both parents are more like, it's like how are you gonna eat? Because it doesn't make sense to them
no, it doesn't.
that my dad works in an office and my mom works in a print shop and it's like, you wanna
You don't want a
you-
salary?
you wanna use a camera to make money and it's like it makes sense if you look at it from their view. It's like they're growing, like their upbringing is like you do this, and this, you'll be here in life and then you make X amount of money and you'll be
This
set.
is a safe, guaranteed route.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, once the business will close down,
Yeah, you get
You have money in your pocket.
That's nice.
So for them it was like you're sure? Like you sure you could make a living out of this? And I was like, yeah. And in my head I'm like, I don't even know. I ain't really tried, but I could try. And worst case scenario,
get one.
by 25, 30,
If it didn't work,
if it didn't work out,
Yeah.
office job.
You have time to mess it up and figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was like, the worst thing I could do is like try. And the best thing I could do is try, and if it don't work out, then figure
Yeah.
something else out later on in life. When
Exactly.
yeah, so I was like, so then how did you like I guess realize that you could do this photography fully? Because I feel like you would do some shoots for free, or I don't know if you did just pay it from the beginning. But when were you like, yeah, I could like actually do this thing as like a living, or was there like a certain amount of money that you made from a shoot, or was it like from the beginning you just knew immediately that you could live on this?
I feel like it was a real gradual thing of me realizing that hey, I can make some decent money from photography because I remember the first job I was paid for. It was real funny because somebody asked me to take pictures of a building.
Yeah.
Just for like, I can't remember what it was for, like a slideshow or something. Just 1 hour, taking a picture, multiple shots of one building. And I went and it was in Port of Spain. And I had a cheap little DSLR with the kit lens.
Yeah.
A zoom kit lens.
That was
And
the
your
best.
boy was getting $400 for this 1 hour. And that blew my mind. I was like, I literally only have to work 1 hour and get $400.
Yeah,
was real money.
sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's like I'm really just here for like X amount of time. I was like, you're willing to pay me this amount of
Yeah.
money? It's like what?
That blew my mind. I was like, okay, but let's go. Let's do it. So I went taking pictures and I saw this little ramp where I could stand up on to get like a better view of the front of the building. So your boy jump up, take shots, got the shot, and then jump down. While I was jumping down, my camera strap went over my head and my camera went flying. It cost me $300 to fix the lens. So I made $100 on my first job. But that was still the point where I was like, $400 for 1 hour. And that's it. So I was like, nah, I need to figure out a way to make this work. But it was still gradual. After that, I would get like, hey, my daughter having a birthday party, come take pictures. Or you could take a headshot for me for my resume, like little jobs.
Yeah.
And over time, I'm a money hoarder. Like, it's real hard for me to spend money. I have to like convince myself that
do I actually
Yeah. Like for years, I would only buy things that I need, and like I wouldn't spend any kind of extra money on too much unnecessary fast food or like just things that you don't need. I actually.
That's me. That's me. Like if mom, like my mom would send me to the grocery, I'm buying exactly what is on that list. Nothing else.
extra.
Nothing more. Nothing less. The end.
Oh, no, sorry.
I thought you would have pick up X, Y, and Z also. Well, I
It's not
see.
on your list.
No, no. You put 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do not see this exact thing, I'm not picking up an alternative. The end.
Sorry.
It might be a different price.
I spend money on. That's really what's be killing me. Eh? I just be
Yeah.
spending for no reason. I'll tell you.
Nah.
Because I'm working in a pharmacy currently. Because I don't know, some reason also real random. People always feel like I'm always shooting, and I'm like, no one really messages me. I'm like, I always have to go out and look for work,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, I did slow down on looking for work because of, I guess, the pharmacy is like a comfort type of thing, but like me just walking to and back because food places are open now. I'm like,
Let me stop
Yusuf
there.
boy,
Doubles, boy.
feeling for a little gyro now, and I'm like,
Yeah,
feel
add
it.
it up. At the
you
end of
feel
the
no,
month,
you ain't even adding up anything. You just feel your pocket. Yeah, I woke up my wallet today.
well, it's 10.
60 boy, 50 for the food. Alright, we go eat good. We eating good today. Tomorrow,
We'll figure it out when I reach.
$10.
$10 boy.
Doubles.
But payday is tomorrow. You mean?
That's the danger of a salary job.
Yeah.
Because if you know at the end of the month you're getting this, why?
Yeah.
Why save it?
I understand it now for sure. Because before I was like, what if you making.
X amount of money.
But some people be making a lot of money, and it's like I don't even know how to think about spending that amount of money. But now that I have this, it's like I can see where the money goes now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call the company, but you know where I worked before, right? And okay, well, I don't know.
Huh? You
Okay,
get cancelled.
I worked at Cal. I interned
Okay.
at Cal, right?
Yeah.
And I know. Yeah, Cal, Caribbean Airlines. Yeah. Anyways, I know for sure these people making more than 10K, maybe like the base 15, because these are
What,
mechanical.
hour?
No, 15,000 at the end of the month.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
And these people, I work in. I'm sitting down listening to the conversation. Man, the small money they paying me is not enough. I does not know money at the end. I'm like, how do you and how? But then
They
again,
married, they have children, they have...
no, these people.
No?
No, these are people that looking like you. But I, I was just like, how dog, how? But I understand everybody had their own expenses and whatnot, and they
Yeah.
have their own things going on. But how are you ending 15K at the end of the month like that? Like on our reels.
Nah, a salary is dangerous. It's comfort.
Yeah.
So it's very
On
comforting.
our reels, dog. If I get in 15K at the end of the month, food every day.
Yeah.
And some places are actually better than that, where it's like you get like this amount of money, and then the company also pays for your rent. They also pay for
allowances.
food, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Travel allowance.
yeah. So it's like at that point, it's like you literally just could stay there for the rest of your life and just work.
Yeah. What's the incentive?
Yeah. So
The
it's like
move.
there's no real reason to leave. I'm literally getting
No.
everything guaranteed once I'm here.
Yep.
And then at Cal, well, I don't know if it changed now because of COVID, but at that point in time, I think if you work overtime on top of your salary, overtime is paid in US instead. So instead of TT, you get paid in US, and it's
Wow.
by the hour, and it's like 30 US an
They
hour.
hiring?
I don't know about now, but I was like, man, y'all overdoing it. I don't know what
That's
y'all doing.
crazy.
I don't know what y'all doing on a weekend or during all the time. But no, you draining your pockets. That is like 10K plus a month,
No.
and top of overtime. Come on, let's be real. Let's
There's
be
this
real.
music producer that I spoke to a while ago, and he told me something real similar to what we're talking about now. He said, Scott, I had a big job in an oil company. I was getting a big salary at the end of every month, and I wouldn't save a penny of it. It was like a race to spend it. Because you
Yeah.
know you're getting it again next month. He said when he decided to leave that industry and get into the music industry, where he's self-employed, is when he realized,
Yeah,
yeah,
hold on to
I
everything.
can't be spending money while like that. Because you don't know when next you're going to get a job. So that's how he learned how to save and invest and change his spending habit. It's hard to break.
It is. I can
It's
see like
really hard.
after I told myself, no, I told myself after a certain point I'm leaving because I need to set like a date and be like, yo, I can't be here
Yeah.
because then the comfort is gonna sink in and be like, yo, you're here so long,
See 5 years fly past and it's like,
Damn.
and then it's
Nothing is wrong
also,
with a job, eh?
huh?
Nothing is wrong.
No,
I
nothing is
always-
wrong with it.
Yeah.
If you're happy with it, then you do your thing. I can't tell if you like to work in CPEP and pick up garbage on the side of the road and you happy doing that. I can't tell you anything about that. You're a happy fella, I'm an unhappy fella working my job.
Yeah, once you're happy.
I can't tell you anything, but I'm just saying for me personally, I have things that I want to do in life and then I realize that, oh, I'm here, but I'm not really pushing for what I want anymore because of this thing. So I need to set a date and be like, hey, at this date,
yeah, the pull the code.
I'm not going to be here and then I'll figure it out.
But the trick is knowing when to pull the cord.
True.
Yeah.
Because I believe a job is you have a steady income. See, you can look at the other side of it. You have this coming in every month, right? You can easily manage that to build your
Yeah,
side
for sure.
hustle, your dream. So I think jobs are a good way to fuel what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Once you manage it properly.
Yeah. But I'm just saying for me it's more like I need a hard cut off
Yeah.
and be like, yo,
To work towards that day.
yeah, because before when I didn't work there, I was more look every day Instagram looking for somebody who might need a shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm available, this. These are my prices. Send out an email to somebody, some company. And then now it's like if I send an email for the week, it's like that was a lot. You know? Also I understand that networking is a thing too. I don't know if you
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, probably 90% of my jobs that I get is referrals, word of mouth. Like, you do one good job and they will talk about you. The next person that say, hey, you know a photographer to do this, they will refer you to that person and you will get a job. I barely advertise photography. And when I do, it's crazy. Because then the referrals coming in and then the jobs from the advertising coming in and you run out of space and time.
yeah. I don't know. I that referral thing is a big thing. Like I'm now starting to kinda get it a little bit. And also me doing graphic design every day helps a lot because people are seeing my face and they're like,
Yeah.
this boy always posting this design. What is this about? A guy asked me for a jersey. I don't really care if he listens to this. A guy asked me for a jersey, and no, like we had a call like yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was like willing to pay like $500 and something for like a jersey. I'm like,
Yeah, sure.
and then some of the jerseys I'm selling is like 200, I think, and I'm doing like a deal for like three for 500 or whatever. And I was like, people don't even want to get those sometimes. I'm like, this guy's willing to pay 500
Yeah.
for a jersey that.
No matter the price, there's always a customer.
Yeah. I think I'm watching more I guess YouTube videos on there's a specific guy and he talks about the world doesn't operate on your income of like whatever you think like a lot of like $10,000 might be a lot for you. But a big company or for somebody else, $10,000 is like a dollar for them.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And they just dropping out on a daily basis and like, oh well I'm spending 10,000 to make 50. That's not
Yeah.
really a bad deal.
No,
in
that's
my
good math.
opinion. So it's like, sure, why not? So it's like, you gotta be a little bit confident with pricing too. I don't know if you're like open to talk about that as well.
Yeah, I don't
I
mind.
know some people not. Like that thing, my pricing has changed so much from when people like when I call certain numbers, I'm like, oh, are you willing to pay this? Oh, okay, well then there we go. So then the pricing goes up a little bit. obviously I'll kind of adjust a little bit for some people depending on what they want, and there's
Yeah.
also like passion projects too, where it's like I really want to work on this,
Yeah.
and I was excited to work on this from the beginning. I could take a little duck in the pee, just a little bit, but you're not gonna get as much stuff. Like you're not gonna get as much pictures. You
Yeah.
might,
Edits.
stuff like that. So, oh, I blanked out.
Pricing.
Yeah. So I know you said like your first job was what, like 400, 500 for the hour for the
Yeah.
event?
400. It was 1 hour to take a picture of a building.
Okay, so then how would you like more break it down now? If that makes sense. I don't know what type of shoots you do more. I don't know.
I started off doing a lot of events,
Uh-huh.
like all types of events, but now it's more studio work, corporate photography, corporate portraits, commercial photography, like food and advertising, that type of stuff.
Okay.
So
Is there a place where I might have seen your picture before, like on a billboard or
yeah,
something?
I shoot for Mickles constantly, every week.
I did one shoot for Mickles. That was one Christmas.
Serious?
Yeah. That was because, Karen?
Yeah, Karen Early.
Right.
Yeah.
He had to go away for something. I don't know what was the reason, but he was like, "Hey, I'm supposed to have this shoot. Could you do a shoot for me for Mickles?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." He sent me the location of the Mickles headquarters,
Yeah.
and it's like not on the map. The people in the area for Mickles, in the
Don't
area, don't even know that this is a Mickles
Yeah,
here.
they don't have a sign.
So I got there and I was like, "Yeah, looking for Mickles," and people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Mickles, like fashion? No, no, okay." So I just walking around like, I don't really know. So I don't even know if I called him, but I had to message some random person that I didn't know at the time. I was like, "Hey, I can't find the place," and then nobody knows where this place is. And she's like, "Oh, we'll just walk for this building," and I was like, "Oh, and the shoot was fun. It was a
Yeah.
long day.
Yeah.
That was a long day."
But I love Mickles. It's always fun. There's
No,
always
they're
something
fun. They're fun
fresh.
people. That's how I met Renelle.
Yeah.
I guess
Yes,
then you
I
would
know
have met
Renelle.
Renelle
Yeah.
for the shoots. I don't know when that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I met her. And then through her, I met another stylist as well as some other people. That's how I even got through with. I hope you all heard that. That was crazy. That's how I got through with Fashion Focus magazine that's supposed to come
Yes,
out.
I know that.
I don't know when it's coming out at this point.
It's
Um,
coming.
it's
coming
just
soon.
coming out
To
at some
theaters
point,
maybe.
hopefully before I die. What was my point? Pricing?
Strategize his pricing.
A pricing.
Yeah.
Oh, where you see my work?
yeah. Well,
Mickles. I do some stuff for Tommy's, the restaurant, the brewery,
okay.
5 Islands. That's one of my most memorable shoots.
You still do stuff for 5 Islands too, or is it
I
just
was
like a
like
one-time thing?
a few projects, yeah. It's not like a constant thing. I do stuff for Aioli. A lot of food, surprisingly.
Okay, you do it here? Or they bring the food here, and
Some of them,
or
yeah.
do you go to them?
But most times it's on location, just because it's fresher and
Well,
easier
so
for
I
them.
looked up a lot of videos on food styling, and it's like they don't even cook the food most of the time. It's like
That's
it's
actually a lie.
no, meaning like it's barely cooked. Like it's just
Yeah.
cooked to the point that it just looks good,
Yeah.
and they have like a heat gun,
yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm like, oh, this is intense, and they have like
Flame
little
guns.
pins in the food, and it's like sometimes the food just looks so good.
Toothpicks.
Pull it up so it doesn't look like
Yeah. And then it was like a lady who was doing it, and she was talking about that from the time the picture is like they got the picture, they have to throw away the food immediately because the food looks so good where somebody might just pick it up and just bite it, and then you're gonna get stabbed by pins and all these other kinds of things. And it's like,
Yeah, sometimes that's definitely the case where you have to do a little tweaking to make it look presentable for a photo, because reality and a photo is two different things sometimes. But I find a lot of the times it just look real good how it is.
yeah,
And I prefer to shoot it how everybody would see it when they go into the place, and it works most of the time.
okay. They have
Like-
like a consistent, I guess, bigger client. Does that make sense? Like a retainer or something like that with somebody.
I would say maybe Mickles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And other than Mickles, there's not really anybody
Everybody
else.
else, I would say, is consistent with some of them, but like I'm not guaranteed to get this amount of hours every month. Like,
Okay.
I might get them once a month or twice a month. Might skip a few months and come back. It's like I consistently work with a few people, but only of maybe one or two of them is every month they will come for a quick shoot or a long shoot.
Okay, and you said it's more people reaching out to you than you really reaching out to people at
Yeah,
this point.
for sure. Yeah,
Okay. No, no, okay. I
definitely.
always find that interesting because I'm like, how do I even get somebody to reach out to me?
Just
I
talk
mean,
to
I
people,
understand that
boy.
like I need to talk to people and stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
like I always see people have like all they like people with a bunch of emails. I'm like, how do you even get that many? And I'm like, I could struggle to keep like 10.
You sure you want it, boy?
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing in my head. It's like you have work coming in, you have things to do, you're occupied, and I'm like, I want to be occupied. I don't want to just be sitting here
Nah. To be
in this
honest,
pharmacy.
just talk to people because I can't tell you how many jobs I got by just talking to somebody. And the conversation eventually leads to what I do. And, you know, sometimes I might find somebody that could offer me something by just talking to them. But I was thinking about this the other day. A lot of the jobs I get, even like printing jobs and photography, is literally by flukes. I just found this person look interesting on our shoot or at a restaurant while I was liming. Yeah, and we just start talking, and they were like, you know, I'm supposed to get 500 t-shirts printed, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no problem. I actually do printing, you know.
Was the most amount you printed at the time?
T-shirt wise, boy, I did a Juve event up the islands, and that
Uh-huh.
was about 4,000 or 5,000 t-shirts.
Oh yeah. I've
That was
seen
nice.
like 10,000 plus
Oh gosh, yeah.
because well obviously my mom and all she's like she'd be there late. I'm like
Yeah.
and then she randomly called the number and she was like 10,000 jerseys. I'm like 10,000
That
jerseys.
normal carnival time too.
I
That's
think it
like
was
a
around
everyday
that
thing.
time and then even like pan time too.
Yeah.
You would notice that I guess back then because it was like a different owner. A lot of the same competing people was just printing by them and I was like, oh, you all just have a monopoly over
They
everybody.
don't care.
They were printing like multiple bank jerseys by them. Like I'm seeing Republic passing through. I seeing First Citizens. I'm like, but do they know? I was like, do they really care
They
though?
want
They
to
just
tell
want their
them.
jerseys.
Yeah, they get in the jersey.
Okay.
But yeah,
Um,
definitely carnival time is a crazy season for that type of business.
have you had like a bad experience like on a shoot where it was like I kind of want to go home. Not even problematic per se. It was more like you got there on the shoots, you were cool, and it was like I just really want to go home right now. This is not it.
Yeah. There are sometimes where you're either tired or you're just exhausted mentally from maybe being busy. But sometimes you could reach a shoot and have zero idea in your head how you're gonna do it. Like technically,
Yeah.
lighting wise, like the weather might be horrible, there's Sahara dust, it's raining. But for some reason, you always figure it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes the worst shoots that start off bad end really, really good.
Yeah.
And you end up loving what you get out of it.
Okay, and then sort of piggybacking off of him, right? Have you ever had I don't want to say problematic client, but
Yeah.
a client that is just like, dog, never again, never, ever, ever again.
I'm
And
not
can
lying.
can you talk about an experience, the one that could come off the top of your head, or
Trying
is
to
it-
think. I'm not lying when I say most of the people I've worked with
cool?
have been really cool, yeah.
Okay.
I could just be mentally blocking out all the traumatic experiences, which I do.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think recently if I had any problems. Humans are humans.
Yeah.
They don't like to see themselves in a picture, let's be real, right? Because sometimes what they see in a picture is not what they visualize themselves
Yeah.
as. So you find most people telling you, oh gosh, you know, taking this little piece of belly here now, you know, make sure my face not as fat and chunky. Yeah, I don't like to do it. I try to keep it as natural as possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless somebody explicitly tell me, change this, I'll do it. Otherwise, I try and keep it
As natural as possible. Yeah. Like okay, like touch
Yeah.
up the
Not
like buttons. and
everybody's
whatnot.
skin would be the best at the time.
Yeah, and especially
know?
under studio lights, it could
Yeah,
exaggerate.
it shows it a lot more. So
some
it's like
things, yeah.
I'll just fix up your skin a little bit, but other than that, that's really as far
Yeah,
as I'm gonna go most of the times.
same. Are you really trying to think of a problematic clients, you know? Yeah, some people that same thing, like nitpicking.
Yeah.
So you might send them the final images and be like, fix this, and they might send back a list of alterations to do.
Yeah.
So it might be time consuming, but I don't consider that a horrible
Yeah.
client.
Okay, so it hasn't had like, well, off the top of your head, where it's like, dog, no
You-
way, no shots, no, ever again, no, no, nope, nope.
Yes, and it's because they took months to pay.
Oh, okay.
That is
Okay.
a hot point for me. If you're taking real time to pay, I
What was-
probably
What was the longest that they took? Like the longest
Gosh.
person.
person I'm thinking of is probably over 6 months.
Oh, I got a year. I got slapped with a year for
Damn.
real small money, and I was like, I feel like the money I got back was just to pay off my phone cards and calling them
Yeah.
so much. I was like,
when you get it's like
this
what's the
is not
point?
even worth it. It's like you gotta keep your money at this point. It's like me. The principle of it is like, yo, we agreed on this.
yeah
You said you had this. I didn't get this. So it's like, what's the point?
setup thing.
So from now on, if I have to send pictures and I ain't get my money,
Half before.
well, it's generally half before, but it's like, if I'm sending you pictures, I'm gonna put a big watermark.
Until you pay.
I'm gonna put a big watermark and just be like, hey, oh, here are your pictures. Unpaid invoice, big watermark, and the whole thing. So you can recognize how the pictures look,
Yeah.
but it's like, if somebody look a little bit too hard, it's like, oh, Samantha, I really like a little photo shoot, girl. But it's them little words I see in there.
Is it
It's
letters on the
saying,
picture?
it's saying unpaid invoice. What I mean,
Oh crap! You watermark it unpaid invoice.
yeah, I'm gonna watermark it unpaid invoice.
I feel like gonna borrow that. That's a good idea.
No, it's definitely gonna be a thing.
they
I'm
will still
telling
use
you.
it with the watermark, you know.
That's
There's some
okay.
people real
That
bold-faced.
looks bad on them.
Yeah,
That have nothing to do with me at that point. They can go and say, "Oh, the photographer, whatever." No, you didn't pay. You don't get proper images with looking all like that. No, we're not doing that.
And I think, are you going to like tell people up front that, you know, hey, if you don't pay me my money, you going to, yeah,
I don't think I have to.
Yeah.
But it's just like
adjust in case, as a just in case.
money is not paid by this time and you want images by this date.
You
They want the images to run at any time.
Yeah. Oh yes.
give me my money, man.
It's like, you don't do all this. Make sure my money's there.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
Simple. So you make sure, or do like a late fee. I've been told it's like a thing where it's like a 10% increase of by this date.
Good luck. Because if they're not paying you, you think they'll pay a late fee?
So for the incentive of
Paying
Paying
on
on
time.
time.
paying on time, it's like, oh, I don't want to pay a late fee. Just like if you get a book from the library. And they say, oh, you have until the 7th to use this book. And then when you bring it back after, you have a late fee. Obviously, you want to read that book out before the 7th. I don't care if it stretches from the floor to the ceiling. You're going to read the whole book.
Unless you never intended to return it, then you're in trouble. No amount of late fees bringing it back.
I'm trying to think.
So,
I was really going to ask about money.
go ahead.
Who,
I
Bob
was-
Marley?
Yeah.
About money.
What he said?
Bob Marley.
Oh, sure, Bob
I was
Marley.
like, wait, that was a big segue.
You have something?
No, I was just gonna talk about the space, like.
We keep trying to get back to this space.
No. We over this space. This space is nice.
We really didn't talk about it. So
We just talk about acquiring the space in terms of like the inspiration, like behind the design of the space, what drove the inspiration for the space. We haven't got into that as yet, but you know, let people come and find out for this.
this is Epidemic Studios. You can find us on Instagram.
I feel like everybody has plugged, right? Which is fine. It's not really that big of a deal. I was just trying to figure out what is the biggest Nike check you've seen. That was really it.
The biggest check.
The biggest Nike check or whatever wire. Where you were like,
For
wow.
photography.
Or in general. Wait.
Is there one bigger than the one than photography? Yeah. He just shook his head. He didn't even say anything. Sure, we could take the both. If that's once you're not going to get in any legal trouble.
Nah, don't play up in anything illegal.
It's like, no, I just have a legal firm on the side too. I'm also a lawyer, you know. Did you know that? I just do a little bit of
I've
lawyering.
thought of it, but I don't have the time. Gosh, I'm trying to remember numbers.
You could just like average it out. So it don't have to be specific. It could be like a
Or you want
the
to do
round.
like, or you want to do like our model friend who gave us what you could possibly buy with such quantities.
Oh, I heard that
Oh yeah,
episode.
yeah.
I
You
heard
could do that one.
episode. I just five digits.
Okay.
5 what?
So a car?
5 digits. Are you using your model friend
So a car?
strategy?
Oh, he said 5 digits. Oh,
You can
It's
buy a
fine.
car.
It's 5.
oh, I thought he said like 5 things that was gonna be real expensive. I was like, what?
5 jet planes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, and this is his space. Nice. 5 jet planes worth. Okay. Okay, so that was photography, or that was just in general.
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then how did like? I'm guessing it's a bigger corporation. I don't think it's like
Yeah.
a regular guy off the street is like, oh
Nah.
yeah, I'll hand you this money.
Nah, definitely not.
So how did that like come about then?
I'm trying to think of a specific. I think the photography one would have been like a corporate shoot.
Uh-huh.
So that was like multiple days of shooting.
Of people,
Yeah.
or
and
just headshots, you mean, or like
it was
what
a
was
mix. So it was like one day of like 20 something headshots, and then another day of 4 separate locations with concept shoots at each location. Like one with a cow, one with a. I don't want to be too specific.
it? Is that a cow?
A car.
A cow.
A cow? Like a moo?
Moo.
I had to set
Doja
up.
Cat moo.
I had to set up with that one. Wait, I could have sworn the man say car. Oh, a cow.
So yeah, it was like maybe a 4 or 5 day shoot over a week.
Uh-huh.
That's why the bill was probably
Makes
that high.
sense. It makes sense.
So it was a lot of work, but it was fun.
I really thought the man say a car, you know.
No, it's a cow.
I did.
I know my hair is bad, but it's not that bad. I heard cow and I was like, moo? What?
And then the man was like, no, a car. I was like, no, a cow. Moo.
Moo, it goes moo, not move.
Cars move. Yeah,
Not
cars move. The
moo,
cows
not move.
Honestly, wasn't expecting that. I didn't see that.
Nah, that one, I don't even understand how that makes sense. Because it said a corporate headshots thing and
It was a milk brand.
Oh. Oh, so you're hinting towards the...
That's why I
A
said
certain
all
type
makes
of
sense.
milk.
It makes sense. But
Is that what it is? You're hinting towards a certain type of milk?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what it is, right? You don't know? It's so easy.
Sir, I do not be drinking
It's
like that.
Tida milk. Tida milk. The car.
Okay, now you lost me.
You didn't
Because
get it,
before I
you
was
didn't get it,
thinking the noise that cows make, there's a milk brand with that name.
Oh, okay,
Yeah?
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, and then he didn't he didn't get it. So I was like, well, am I dumb?
Okay, I got it now.
I was like, no, but everything is there. A, B,
Yeah, I
C,
didn't put 2 hands together.
D.
The man was good in maths up until 4 more and he tell you that.
I was like, I know it's a numbers fella. Okay, so then, how does that even happen then?
Like through advertising.
You got that
agency.
through someone else? And they were like, oh yeah,
Advertising
Scott?
agency.
Advertising.
Oh, okay. I don't even know of any advertising agencies locally. I know of like
What?
1 or 2.
There's so many.
That's because I was walking to the grocery and I saw the building and I was like, oh.
There's so many.
I know that they have because we have ads running in the country and they need agencies and they need people to run those things.
Yeah.
But
They have ice cream, which EYE scream.
yeah.
Ice cream, they're real fun. They have Lonsdale and Sachi. They have I think Corbin still around.
Is ice cream the more animation type of people?
Yeah, ice cream animation.
Yeah.
It's
I
an
know of them.
advertising agency and animation house.
I know them more for the animations than anything.
Yeah, they're pretty epic. I work with them a lot. Like, I used to be there almost every day. I just love ice cream. They're a really epic team.
Okay. So now that I think about like how much people is taking to run this like a business.
Well, my businesses
Well, I know you said there's you and then there's like one other person.
in the studio, yeah.
And then so there's
Well,
other people where?
This print shop of it.
Well no, it's not the
Well,
print shop.
yeah,
I'm
that-
talking about the
that's
studio.
Separate there, but
I think the print shop is separate from you, right?
yeah, it's separate.
You just help.
I just like a salesman.
Yeah.
I just a salesman for that. But like at one point, when I had everything running, I had 1, 2, 3, about six employees.
Okay.
I had one, that was the peak of my stuff. I had 6 employees. While I was in school, I had 1. Once I left, it was up to 6. Now it's down to 3. That's it.
For the studio specifically.
Yeah.
Is there like a shoot in here? Obviously not now, but I guess before, was it like a shoot like every day? Or was it just
It's a
a
nice
couple
mix.
days of the week, but just bigger production shoots?
Maybe like every other month you get a nice big production that might run 2 days or 1 day of the week.
Yeah.
But I think the real money is in like the nice small 1 hour shoots.
If you fill up plenty of those, it sort of equates to.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's spread right across the week, but weekends obviously busy because that's when freelance photographers have free time. But like
Okay.
even other stuff we do here, like not even only photography. There's some people that shot recorded podcasts. They have like video recordings.
Here? People do podcasts here?
Yeah, they bring their equipment and
Okay.
use the space. They have like sip and paints. The space is a space that you
Yeah.
could do anything in it.
So just some tips for someone who's building a studio. What advice you can give to someone? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, building out a space or yeah,
Um, if you're trying to build a studio space, obviously the more space you have, the better.
yeah.
But I work in about maybe 10 feet by 20 feet for 5 years. And it was enough, to be honest.
Okay.
You could do a lot in that space. It's tight for certain complicated lighting setups. But most shoots you could do within a small space like that.
Okay.
Obviously, you need the basics, a backdrop system or light stands that could support a backdrop.
Yeah.
I don't see you needing more than 2 lights if you're trying to be real basic. You could do a lot with 2 lights,
Yeah.
even 1 light.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, was that sorry?
The pictures I posted with him recently, you saw it? That was one line.
I don't know if I saw it. Let me check it out.
Oh, I don't even have internet here. I wish I could look it up. He's currently looking it up on his phone. No, you have
No.
to let them know.
Yeah. It's just
This
yeah.
one?
Yep.
Yeah, with him, that was just like one light.
Overhead.
This real sweet.
Yeah.
So why I ask is because well I'm currently in the planning process of building out my own studio.
Nice.
Well, a studio space for us to sort of share and work
Photography
together.
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to have it sort of multi-purpose because I'm thinking of also going into video. I like the process of
Yeah.
making videos also. I just haven't in terms of like made anything crazy. I want to get wild. Like I don't know if you know Daniel Schiffer.
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah. He just do some wild bottle flipping up in the air for drinks and I want to start creating stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a space to be pelting bottles all over the place and water spraying up all over the place, that I want to have a dynamic space where, it looks good, it's functional,
Yeah.
but what is so for someone who's planning a studio space, what to look out for, what are some lessons to learn?
What I love about this space is the high ceiling.
Yeah, well, for the space, I think in total it's like 500 square feet floor
Nice.
space, and I think it's 11 feet. The ceiling
height?
Yeah, ceiling
That's
height.
perfect. I think this is 11 or 12.
Okay. Yeah. I know for sure.
You could try. You're all tall.
Because I measured out the space, but yeah, 11 feet is how high the ceiling
Was
is.
he with like?
I think is what was it? I think is 40 wide by 20 long.
Damn, that's
So
perfect.
it's about 500, 600. It's just over 500 square feet.
That's a perfect space right there, size wise.
Okay.
You could do like multiple backdrop setups too.
So well, I was thinking of having something like that.
Yeah, there's a three backdrop system.
Yeah.
I thought of doing it, but I honestly don't think I have use for it. Personally,
Yeah.
I'm sure I could.
Because it's an idea in my head to also have like half, like a corner.
But when you think about it, it limits the space
Mm-hmm.
to what you could do with it. No. Like when you have a side wall,
Yeah.
your space is
White.
just a
Just
side wall.
white.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like in my space, sometimes they don't want a backdrop. So I
Okay.
completely remove my backdrop system and they use the wall or they set up their own thing.
Okay.
If I had a side wall, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Plus,
makes
if
sense.
it's white.
Yeah.
So if you try to do something on it, you're gonna have to be painting that every
every 2 seconds.
every few days.
Yeah. Okay, makes
Well,
sense. Because I was thinking of also building out a sidewall for the space when I
But
get
your
there.
space, if it's a straight line
It is
rectangle,
quite literally. Imagine
well,
a
that's perfect.
500 square feet box.
You could literally put one side.
So yeah,
Yeah,
because that's what the idea was. A corner side wall on one side, and then the opposite side have like be
exactly.
just like this.
Yeah, keep it separate.
Okay.
Do the cycle and then you could have a backdrop system on the other side.
Okay.
That's the perfect space to do something like that.
Okay. And in terms of like costing, I don't know. You don't have to go into specifics, but what if you could remember to build out your space? What that costed?
Definitely 6 figures. When I was budgeting it out, I love budgeting
Uh-huh.
because I need to know how much I'm gonna spend on something.
Makes sense.
But even when I budget, I add 50% onto it
Okay.
because you have problems that pop up. They have things that might
Always.
cost way more than you think it would cost, no matter how much times you get costing on estimates.
Yeah.
They always have little things that pop up that I didn't consider.
Mm-hmm.
So in this space, I was trying hard to keep it in the low six numbers.
Cut costs.
Yeah, by cutting or compromising in certain areas like Scott, you really don't need gold plated, gold plated walls or anything. So it did not stay within the budget I budgeted, but it didn't go too far
Uh-huh.
past it
Okay.
because
Because so far, my degree program, I do land management. So anything to do with real estate, that's what my degree program is about. So I know how to, I have the basic understanding of how to do a cost analysis of how much
Yeah.
a place would build. And one of our friends, his dad is a civil engineer. And I sat down with him. And just to build alone is like 5 figures. Easy. So I'm like, I need to get a job. Because, my parents will help me out in certain places. But, I don't want it to just be, oh, yeah, my parents pay for every single thing. I want
it's
these.
nice when you do it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, so
How much is that it would cost?
so far, just to build alone, a concrete box is like 30.
That's
Just
not
to build a
bad.
concrete box.
I mean, relatively.
Relative. Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Okay.
but in terms of
And paint
but
and flooring.
in terms of but in terms of like electrical and stuff, but my dad is a electromechanical engineer. He did electrical, so
See, we
that
all have links.
yeah, so that part yeah, so it has certain things that I know I can do, and like it can be like a fun personal project. Oh yeah, I put this
Yeah.
up, but yeah.
If you can
So-
do it yourself, do it yourself.
yeah,
You'll
so-
save the money.
So in terms of, because like, you saw the lights in my kitchen. It's sort of like this, but imagine it on a rope. No, it's like on a electrical
Hanging.
rope,
Yeah.
and it's like it makes like a snaking pattern. I put
Nice.
that up myself. So in terms of stuff like that, I know I can handle that stuff like that. It's just buying it.
Yeah.
But in terms of like brick and mortar, I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
So
I guess it'll probably be like 100,
yeah, I wouldn't doubt.
120
I wouldn't doubt at
Yeah.
all.
to get it
Wow.
decent.
Yeah.
You could get it cheaper, but you might have to paint the floor instead of putting flooring down. Because flooring are expensive. It'd probably be like 60, 70,000.
Right now, I'm being honest, I have a stack of remaining tiles. I can probably
Yeah.
tile that whole, and it's not small tiles. I'm like
Big.
maybe like
2
half
feet tiles.
half this table
Yeah.
in terms of a square is one tile. It's ridiculous. So in terms of that, and I have like maybe
you tile
like
yourself?
no, I don't know how to tile, but we have friends. Yeah.
I worked tiling. That is a different kind of work. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I'm telling you, I didn't even know tiles could get so heavy.
They're very
I'm talking
heavy.
about I went there, I worked there literally for 4 days. First day, this man had me pick up a tile and I needed somebody else. And both of us were struggling. And this person worked out like every day. And they were struggling with me. I'm like, but this tile heavy. And then so we went from there to like another place. So that one time we worked literally the whole day. Went in the morning, down south to some place. move up those tiles, came back into the like Port of Spain type of area, right? And then had to be carrying like bags of cement and bags of things up 3 flights of stairs.
Damn.
And I was like, dog, this is not it.
When
If
people
this
say
is your
they are
thing, that's
laborer,
cool.
that is literally labor.
But the thing is, they do get paid though. They get paid pretty
Good.
well, right? Because they do great work. But it's like, this is not really my thing.
It's hard work.
It is. It's hard work. And I was like, I don't really know if that's for me. But I'm always gonna ask, I guess to like wrap up. I guess he asked more about the studio, but I wanted to know more about, I guess, advice or like things that you learned along the whole photography journey.
Of course.
If you were speaking to younger Scott,
So cheesy, but keep at it.
I mean, it helps people to like, I guess, visualize what to say.
Yeah, I know. But like, I'm not gonna lie, photography went from being a hobby and passion to a job real quick. Because when you have expenses every month and you have to pay bills and all that crap, you're just like a drone. Yes, I'm gonna shoot this event. Like I love interacting with people, but if I didn't have to shoot events, I wouldn't. So like just doing years of events, that real drain me and tire me out because it's not creative.
Also, just real random. Do you turn down jobs? It's just like a random thing.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I find it hard to say no to any type of job and anything.
Me too, but then the only time I honestly turn them down sometimes is when I'm talking to the client and they like I just feel stressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not gonna be fun for anybody. So then sometimes I say no. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm
I
unavailable.
love a challenge. So if it's something real complicated, I'll still.
No, we're not talking about taking pictures wise.
Oh,
The person just being a little bit problematic, and I'm like, oh, nah,
So
sorry.
working in retail, when I was younger, I realized I love difficult people. Like the hardest customer, most annoying, stupid customer, send that by me. I love just cracking them, like figuring out, not pissing them off, but like figuring out.
How they think.
Yeah.
What makes you run? What is
Why are
going
you
on?
angry?
Yeah, I understand.
Like I'll bring them from 100 all the way down to 10 and make them love me when I finish with them, you know? I just love difficult people, so I'm not scared of anybody that being difficult.
Oh, okay.
But what I was saying before, boy?
We were talking about
Something
advice.
pretentious. I can't remember. But
Paying
yeah.
bills and
Oh,
photography
just-
becoming a job.
Yeah, I was burnt out. I
Yeah.
was burnt out for easily 4 years straight. Where like I was just doing photography. I wasn't kinda enjoying it, but I wasn't loving it.
Yeah.
I realized at the point I need to fix this burnout. I need to fix this tiredness. I know what the secret was. I didn't do a personal project in maybe 4 or 5 years. As in like I have a whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
of
that's probably the best
concepts.
thing there.
Yeah, of shoots I would like to do, and I wasn't doing any.
So if someone finds my phone, they're probably gonna think, "Oh, this person's weird. Why? Who's these random people?
Don't worry, all of us.
Why is it in one random folder on his
Suspicious. Very
Oh, I
suspicious.
label. I made my reel of this. I was like people to photograph, and I was like, in my head it's so normal. But then we spoke to Damien, and I was like, you know, if somebody does go through my phone, this doesn't look.
Yeah, it's not
the
right.
best.
Something wrong.
like on my Instagram, like
And then so like I have, for a shoot I have Sundays like a personal thing with this girl called Judah. She's a graphic designer. You might know her.
Yeah, and sound familiar.
oh right, yeah, right.
I specifically put her name like in a note. So I'm like, do XX this shoot with Judah, and then I put like an inspo pic, right? And I was like, man, if somebody just really goes through my phone, it's gonna look real
like
bad
stalker
because
behavior.
there's a folder with people to photograph, and then there's like names of certain things.
People to shoot.
Yeah, and then and then there's their names too. It's like, this boy is kind of weird.
But yeah, I realized personal projects really reignite the love. Yeah, the
Okay.
love for whatever you're doing.
Okay.
I try to do more, but sometimes you just don't get the time to do it.
Yeah. Was that it? Did he give like advice?
He said.
That was
Keep
really it.
at it. As the most pretentious response I could figure out.
So there was no like big I guess, lesson learned over the years? What was like your biggest thing? Was like a aha moment or?
Thinking about now because you're making me think about it. I think, yeah, your photography matters, right? Like anything you do, the end product matters, the quality of it matters. But if your personality is crap, I was gonna say be Chris Reed, but I don't know what kind of podcast this is. If your personality is crap, nobody gonna want to work with you.
Yeah.
Your work could be the greatest, but then you're gonna turn away a lot of people.
Reminds me of Sunday.
Oh
Sunday?
Lord, that sounded like a story.
No, from Sunday. Remember, the girls was like, oh, y'all know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we did a shoot Sunday too, and they were like, "Oh, y'all are so nice. Like, keep that up." And they were like, "We had some bad experiences." I'm like,
What is this? Why?
I'm always hearing of bad experiences,
Yeah, me too.
but I don't know who the people are. So like, if somebody asks me to do a shoot or something, I might recommend somebody bad.
yeah,
You know, because I'm like,
But
oh
not
well,
just, you know,
this
like-
person might be able to fulfill what you want because I've seen them around. But it's like, I don't
Yeah.
really know anything about them too much to say, well, oh yeah, well,
You
they've,
might face some issues.
yeah. Or like, look out for this. If they do this, then get yourself out of there. Or like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really recommend this person,
But if that's what
but
you
I recommend this person or something like that.
yeah.
So I personally like names. That's just me though.
Basically, the
But-
fact that you hear bad things about people
Yeah.
means either people lying on them or they really just don't have the personality to have a good reputation. I think that's real important. I real careful with, how I treat people. I don't ever like to treat people wrong or bad or. I have no enemies. Well, I don't know. I could, but I don't care.
I always say that. I'm like, I personally, I don't have nobody that I don't like. I don't have nobody like me. If people have issues with me, I guess that's them. But I have no issues with anybody that I know of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, that is too much negativity for me.
yeah.
I hate negativity.
Makes sense.
hate it.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Once you have integrity, that's what we lacking. We seriously lacking. Once you have integrity and your personality is great, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Your work will get better, you'll improve, people will find you, word of mouth. That's why word of mouth and having a good working relationship with people is
Yeah.
where is real important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your photography and your skills is a secondary thing, I find.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay. Well, I feel like that's all the time we have.
Jabari,
Scott.
thank you. Jabari, thank you.
Oh, I feel like we're supposed to be thanking him. He brought us in his space. Also, before we came here, there was a car that looked like yours outside my like little apartment.
You're like,
I'm not even joking, but it was just a grey version to it, right? The same grey one that's across there. So I
Yeah.
was like, the last time I remember your car, it was grey in my head for some reason, right? And
as
not
in your
black.
little photo album too, under
Huh?
my name, Scott.
Yeah,
grey car.
of course. So I was like, I messaged you saying that, hey, we'll be late. And then I walk outside and I'm like, wait, Scott is here?
I'll call you back and be like, you
I'm
lied,
like-
I'm outside.
So why, what's going on?
And then you called
So then I had to go and ask Luigi. I was like, is this not Scott's car? And he was like, no, his car is black. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
My car is actually grey.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
A dark gray?
Yeah.
So then you were by my place then.
I don't
You
know
just
when
drove
Sunday.
here before me.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah,
That's it.
okay, that makes sense. That makes so much more sense. All right, so yeah, that's Scott. We talked for a good amount of time. I feel like past when he even said he had to leave. But yeah, it was nice having you. This was a lot of fun. If there's anything to plug, I guess you could plug it to the two
I had a
listeners.
great time. Thank you so much for having me. This is Epidemic Studios.
Mhm.
Anytime you need it, even if you want some, studio inspiration, you can come back and measure something or take pictures.
just come on, measure something. Just
Just
come
measure
like
something.
take a table and just like measure it. And
My
like,
desk might be for sale, you can make an offer.
I know, but no, not looking like it.
Yeah, that kind of.
I could cut down that price. So I hear people standing up on your table, so that I could like drop it down a little
Nah,
bit.
that was a joke. That was a joke.
like depreciation.
Depreciation.
Appreciation for my desk.
Okay, all right, sure. Because Scott owned it is why it's so much. That makes sense. But yeah, it was fun. That's it.
Yeah.
We're signing out. We'll see you all next week. From Jabari.
And Jabari.
And Scott.